Welcome to Boulder Bay, and today spawning on the west side of the map, we've got crackedyhere in red as the Mongols. He's going to be going up against none other than puppypaw in purple in the east as the Mongols. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Mongols mirror match. And well, crackedy there He's also known as crackedyhere. That's what we'll call him. That's what we know and love to call him. That's what we know him by. So that's what we'll go for. Now, this is an interesting matchup. Mongols mirror match on Boulder Bay. Because there's a couple of options you can go for, a couple of strategies. Now, water is obviously a thing. You have to go for water. Do not ignore water. You must get water. It's so good in terms of your economy. And well, there's two ways to go about this. So you can often either go for the initial dock, straight to getting a dock, getting those fishing ships, getting the fish in, getting that food income. That's exactly what crackedyhere, that's what he's doing today on the west side. On the east side, well, we've got a slightly different strategy. Puppypaw, looking to actually be aggressive. He's got the Uvu, he's got the barracks, he's got double production of spearmen. And he's going to pressure that early dock presence. So that's going to be forcing out the static defense. So this is a really typical opening in terms of how you strategize going for water. You could either go for the dock first, and then try and get static defenses, defend this position, get the early advantage in terms of economy, or you could try and pressure the dock as your opponent, or if you want to attack your opponent who's got a dock already up and running. And that's exactly what Puppypaw is doing. He's going to be producing spearmen, double producing when he can, and he's going to be trying to harass this area. A couple more villages coming out, a lot of them actually, quite a large investment. 5 villages there for Crackedy, so he's definitely want to solidify this position. This is going to become a very important strategic aspect of the game. There's a heavy commitment in particular. Now, one thing that could be considered as well, getting a transport ship, getting villagers inside them can actually help them fire off, so they can actually be attacking in the Dark Age. With the static defense now up and running, we shall see what Puppypaw decides to do with those spearmen. Where's he gone with them? Still making his way across the shoreline. And that's a bit of a precarious position for Puppypaw because he doesn't have his dock up and running, which means he's obviously at a deficit in terms of food. It could mean his age up is, well, it could have potentially meant his age up was quicker. But he's obviously investing in spearmen, so not really. He's going to have to invest a lot of food into those. They don't come cheap. 60 food, 20 wood. And it looks like the spearmen just hanging out here for a little while. He's going to be grouping them up. So he doesn't want to trickle them in one by one. He wants a large number of them, so once he does get a couple of torches on them, he can take it out one foul swoop. And this is actually really incredible food economy for Crackedy here. You can see on the top left, 376 food per minute. And it's because of the fishing and the 5 villagers that are actually gathering from the shore. It's incredibly strong. So Puppypaw needs to deny this, needs to put on some pressure, as he is currently just relying on sheep. Something that to be considered are the boar positions, one in the south, one in the west, and one in the northeast. There's actually 3 boars. I was expecting there to be just 2, but well, there are 3 apparently today on this map. And well, that's something that Puppypaw could rely on for food if he doesn't transition to the fish soon. I mean, you really kind of want to go for the fish, but in any case, there's the attack notification. It's a bit unfortunate there, actually. I think that kind of gave it away. The outpost obviously gives him a large line of vision. And Puppypaw doesn't want to... He just wants to poke and prod. He wants to keep those villagers inactive, try and keep them away from the shore. Oh, this could be a bit of a missed opportunity. Crackedy there does go back in. Maneuver arrow. I can see it's a bit of a dance here. Crackedy doesn't want to commit to the outpost unless he has to. Spearmen do come out. The maneuver arrow went there. Khan might be going down pretty soon. That's unfortunate, but he's going to get a good wrap around. I think he has to commit now. He's got a decent number of these spearmen. Just wants to make sure those villagers don't pop out, or at least once they do, he's going to take care of them. So that's actually a good option to try and get a lot of value by garrisoning the villages, but there are 5 villages that are idled right now, so that's a concern. But don't forget the fishing economy, incredibly strong. 6 fishing ships have been working. You can see the economy is actually 5 ahead because of that. Although I say that, those 5 villages will probably go down. Maybe 1 or 2 might just survive. We shall see, because he does have the Khan coming in to support, but I'm not so sure. Oh, transport ship does come out, so should be able to keep those alive for now at least. And he does. Actually, does the transport ship actually fire off? I'm not sure if it does at this point. I think in recent patch it did used to, but I'm not so sure. Does lose the Khan though, Puppypaw. In fact, it wasn't Puppypaw's, it was Crackedy. He's going to lose a lot of sheep. That is a disaster. I was assuming that it was Puppypaw's, but it's not. There's 9 sheep there, and I wonder whether the scout for Puppypaw will just mop that up. Not sure where it is though. In any case, the trouble for Crackedy, whilst he does have enough food for the age up, and the Puppypaw doesn't, of course, he's going to be losing the dock. And there's no real way to contend this until he does age up. Get those archers. Going to really rush that up, actually, with a lot of villagers. Villagers coming out now on the east side for Puppypaw. Going to the deer pack. Wants that food income. Doesn't have... Well, he does have the dock now. 2 fishing ships are out. But this is actually really strong. So now we've seen a transition, a movement, a swing rather of the pendulum from Crackedy having fishing economy to now actually possibly losing that. You can see villagers popping out. In fact, no, okay, the transport ship doesn't actually fire off with the villagers inside. I thought they would, but he's going to try and repair the dock for as long as possible. Keep that running for as long as possible so the fishing economy doesn't die off too much. You might want to force drop off here. Unless he can keep it alive, doesn't quite manage it. Did lose 5 villagers there in total, of course. It's a bit of a sad situation for him. There we are. Now there's a light junk coming out there for the Mongols, for Crackedy. Will help push this back, but they're not the most accurate. There's not 100% accuracy, so the dock does go down. He didn't force drop off there. There's a lot of food there. There's a bit of a missed opportunity, unfortunately for him. We need to try and rebuild that dock. Does have 1 villager still alive, so probably will be able to build that again. Yeah, that's actually quite a solid play, quite a smart play. Not to commit and lose all the villagers. A lot of players would just lose all the villagers, which, you know, obviously you do not want to happen. So on that front, pretty good start, or good saving of that villager. So I am really curious to see how this one pans out because, well, Crackedy is still trying to fight to keep that water. Look at that puppypaw. He spots it. He recognizes that villager as being a bit sneaky. I think now at this point, Crackedy has 2 options. He can either go to this main island here. I say main island, but small island, and drop a dock here so he can still fish away a little bit freely. Otherwise, he might be looking to go on the right side, which could be a bit sneaky, but could be possible. And there's an option, as we do see a puppypaw keeping the spears there. I think once he spots that there's been a complete evacuation, he's probably going to go for the main base, and we can see already Crackedy here trying to prepare for that by getting an outpost on that wood line. Wants to protect himself from being raided, of course. These Khan going for Crackedy to find out what his opponent is up to. He'll surely find out soon enough. But there is a dock and up and running for puppypaw. And so the good thing for puppypaw is that he's got his second dock up and running. But the bad thing is he's got a light junk in his face. And the concern is that he doesn't really have a way of dealing with that just yet. I like what he's done in terms of kept his numbers down to 3 fishing ships. That's something to really consider. Like, you should really, if you're behind an age like he is right now, stuck in the dark age, sticking with 3 fishing ships means that you can dock them inside your dock, you know, garrison them inside your dock pretty nicely without losing any. Although, as I say, that he's probably going to lose 1 more because there's only obviously 4 fishing ships here and there's only 3 spaces in there. But this one will last for a little while as he does bring a group of spearmen to try and defend these 2 docks and be aggressive with this dock that's there for Crackedy. So Crackedy can't really defend this position, surely. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like a bit more of a reliable economy. He could have had it set up here, but now he's going to lose his dock again for the second time. So he's going to save that villager, maybe scoot around back on the west side. But the trouble is there's a fishing ship there for puppypaw acting as a scout. Now you can see how important that is. He's just trying to see where his opponent is. There's any signs of him docking again, and well, he's just missed it. I think Crackedy might be able to get a dock up there again. Ovu up and running. Let's just see what production buildings, just the barracks so far for puppypaw. There is an archery range there for Crackedy. Double archery range? Yeah, so there's a double archery range there for Crackedy. He wants to get a military presence on the field next to the Uvu. Should be able to double produce. And here comes the first war junk there for Crackedy, looking to attack that dock. Khan chasing Khan. Not much else to be talked about, but 3 fishing ships garrison inside. This is good pressure from Crackedy because whilst he did lose fishing economy, I think generally since the beginning of the game he's had a better fishing economy overall. There was a period of time where puppypaw did have about 4 or 5 fishing ships. But they've always been under pressure as they are now. This dock is under pressure as well. This could be an opportunity for puppypaw to actually win the little micro battle here because he does have the emplacements. You can see the arrow emplacements coming out. He's going to slowly work on taking out the war junk. That's quite key. We do see the deer carcasses being used by puppypaw for that extra food. Obviously he's struggling on food on the water side of things, so that's kind of settled down for him. Fishing ships have to actually go all the way back to the west, and well, puppypaw will be aware of that as he does get his first war junk onto the playing field, or we should say the playing sea, or the bay, as the map name suggests. Good sheep haul there for Crackedy. Will sustain him if he does get pushed off on the waters, but it's actually a bit of a tricky situation. You get pushed off waters, you kind of get pulled behind quite badly if you do that. It's very bad, especially in 1v1 games. You really want control of that water. Speaking of control, well, puppypaw has the control of his gold really with that Keshik and should be pretty safe. It's 2 hardened spearmen look to just patrol the shores. That dock is still up and running though for Crackedy, so that's something that puppypaw will want to deal with. Look at the range on that thing, on that dock. Be impressive. But nice bit of fishing economy. 6 fishing ships, a decent military as well, and it feels like really Crackedy has the better military on the waters for now. But that could change. That could change very soon. The trouble is this dock is very isolated and is constantly being under siege and under threat, so that's an issue. It does have 2 docks back at home, but it's a heavy wood investment to do all this. It's actually made 4 docks in total, there or thereabouts. I think I may have lost count, but anyway, something like that. There's a lot of wood that's gone into producing those and making those. Here's a bit of an aggression. The war junks there for Crackedy, looking to take down the war junk for puppypaw. Will he manage it? The galleys, or the war junks at least, the light junks on the back line. A demo ship gonna get hit off on the war junk. Does he make it? Does. Oh, he actually saves it for. Oh, he used it on a decent shot there on the war junk. Takes it out and hits a lot of the fishing ships as well. A good micro for Crackedy. Tries to save them, but only saves one of them. Loses one of the war junks. Unfortunate for him. Does have a couple of demos, but he doesn't want to rush in there. He wants to try and heal those up, I suspect. A good little push for Crackedy, but maybe didn't achieve what he wanted to. That dock is under fire now with the Keshik having done a lot of damage. There's no way for Crackedy to repair that, so puppypaw would be happy about that. The fact that it's burning to the ground. Khan goes down for Crackedy. On the back of this has that back barracks and double arch range. Of course, there Crackedy. There's a stable and barracks for puppypaw. Military numbers looking good here for Crackedy. Mostly on water though, has to be said. I wonder whether you have another push. Just 2 war junks really here for puppypaw. Not a lot, so if we can get a couple of demo shots off, and looks like going to try and do that. This could work quite well for Crackedy. Does have matching numbers of war junks. A couple of galleys, a couple of archer ships, rather light junks in the back of that. Demo ship doesn't get off the first one. The second one does though. A good hit. And puppypaw's on the ropes in terms of the water. Good bit of aggression. The thing is that the docks, they do have the arrow slits in, so that's actually kind of painful for Crackedy's military. Might lose one war junk. Going to try and get out of there and try and repair it. Might lose a second. He's going to try and back off there. Does have the 3 light junks. Adds in some reinforcements. Oh, he does lose that war junk in the end. He might lose another. If he can get away with this one, that would be good for him. Does manage to just about with 51 HP. He's going to back off. On the land side of things, that dock does go down in the end on the east side, but look at this. Does have a decent military here, Crackedy. Concern is, there's one thing you have to think about is if you overcommit on water, not so much overcommit, but you invest a lot of resources, it can leave you a bit bare on land, so that could be something puppypaw might look to leverage if he does decide to commit a bit further on land. The thing is about Age of Empires 4, it's often quite hard to deal a lot of critical damage in terms of actually taking your opponent off the water completely. As we've seen here today, it's been a bit of a back and forth on Boulder Bay. Sending 8 villagers for the boar, and it's because obviously Crackedy's done such a great job of denying the fishing economy. Just 3 light junks actually. I think this could be a window of opportunity for Crackedy to push, but he's not. That's 5 war junks at the moment. This is go time. I don't think he has scouting vision on this. That's a concern. That's the issue. New Khan rises. Of course, he doesn't have that scouting information because he did lose his Khan. Just spawning now again on the capital town centre. Go, Crackedy, grow, go. He's got so much. Takes engagement. A couple of light junks. Oh, demos. Need to back away from that. Just the one demo, actually. This could be a killer blow, but decent number of light junks there for the Mongols, but a lot of springle ships, war junks there for Crackedy. That was definitely great for him. Definitely the right counter. There is one demo ship. I'm not sure what happened to that demo ship. It's got left behind, maybe. No, there it is. Oh, no, it's just a light junk on fire. Take it back. Sometimes it looks a bit like a demo ship. There was no demo ship there. There was a demo ship there for puppypaw. Doesn't get the hit that he wants. And a good engagement. The trouble is, as defender's advantage for puppypaw. Reinforcements coming in thick and fast. And also arrow slits. There's a demo ship there. Crackedy's got to get out of there. Doesn't quite get there with the demo ship. Oh, he loses a lot of light junks to the other demo ship. So good demolition ship shots there for puppypaw. A couple of them didn't land, but the ones that did a lot of damage. And well, Crackedy has to back off. Now this kind of highlights to you the how hard it is to push people off water. If you have arrow slits in placement for 2 docks, you really have to completely overwhelm. And if you want to overwhelm, then you have to invest a lot. And of course, that leaves you a bit bare at home. Well, interesting play here. Crackedy going to go for the castle age. I wonder whether that's a bit premature. It's interesting to think about because we've talked about on the channel before on casted games that when you age up, that's often when you're vulnerable. If you don't have a standing army, it can leave you a very big problem. Because once he does age up, it could be a signal for puppypaw either to do one of 2 things. Age up himself or go for aggression. And considering he's so far away from the castle age himself, I suspect we'll see some aggression. And we'll see, because he does have a bit of a decent standing army. It's a bit of a mistake, though, for Crackedy not getting these units closer to the dock so they can auto-heal. But to be fair, the light junks... Oh, this one is healing anyway, to be fair. But still, and in any case, because of that, a lot of these ships are weak. Oh, we're going to take down the 2 demos for free. That is a problem if Crackedy needs to react. Doesn't react in time. But doesn't lose the second demo. Oh, he does now. Almost. There it is. There's the second demo that goes down. Engagement is looking good for puppypaw. He's back away with his war junk, though. Might lose it, but he might take a good trade in anyway. Because, well, Crackedy's ships were so weak to start off with. Does lose a lot, and that is a problem. On the age up there for Crackedy, he loses his water presence almost. This could be a problem, because I'm not sure if he has arrow slits. He doesn't. It's queued up, but it's not going to come in time if he gets pushed now. And this is an issue. A couple of demo ships there for puppypaw. Could deal some big damage, especially on the war junks. Of course, that's what they counter. That's huge. It takes a great engagement there. Puppypaw does a lot of damage. A lot of the fishing ships are very weak, and they have to back off. And now this could snowball. Puppypaw might push this aggression in the back of all of this. He might be edging towards that castle age himself, but at this stage he's just being aggressive with the demo ship there. No light junk to take care of it. Otherwise, take that back. It did take care of it in the end. Look at this, streaming forward. Maybe a third dock. It feels like there's a third dock, but there isn't. Oh, there is a third dock. You can kind of get a sense for it sometimes. Just the number of units coming across the map. There was a third dock, and now this is looking bad for Kraken. It does have the arrow slits in place. It takes another war junk out. Or at least it should. Oh, it doesn't. Villager comes out to repair. Nice bit of micro there for Crackedy. He should save it in the end, actually, because of the healing from the docks. Targets the villager, and then maybe takes out the junk. Nope, he's going to back away. Try and save what he can, which is just about 3. Again, it's another indication of how hard it is to take someone off water. Puppypaw with a lot of aggression in the middle. Now the question is, what does Crackedy do here with the Castle Age up tech? Or does he go for palace guards maybe? Only has 1 barracks, so it could be an option. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably the option you have if you're in the Castle Age ahead of time. Maybe look to secure some of the relics maybe, but doesn't have a monastery just yet. So we'll have to see, or prayer tent for the Mongols it's called. And you can see Puppypaw certainly edging towards that Castle Age himself. He took care of the deer pack in the north, and I think that was boar actually, and took a deer pack in the east. And he's going to go up with a step redoubt himself for that gold income. Oh, here comes a big push. Puppypaw really committed to the waters, and it's paying dividends on the back of this. If he wins waters, that could be the final nail in the coffin, because once you've got control of waters, the fishing economy can really start to build up. It doesn't have that many, but that could change very quickly. Has to back off once again. Crackedy trying to hold on. He does have a decent fishing economy himself, actually, to be fair. It does feel like throughout the whole game, Crackedy has had a better fishing economy, but a couple of idols here not helping him. Looks like it's going to be Keshiks here for Puppypaw. I like this play. I think Palace Guards actually would be a mistake here for Crackedy, because of the fact that, well, the Keshiks kind of can do a bit of damage to them. Of course, Man-at-Arms are slightly countered by Knights, or heavy melee cavalry at least. And so they should be decent in melee combat against them. The issue is concerning, or it's kind of interesting to think about, is how Crackedy got to the Castle Age ahead of his opponent, but he never really made it count. He never really made that tech up count in terms of military at least, and I'm not sure if he made it count in terms of economy. Doesn't have the eco upgrades for the Castle Age, but he's looking to upgrade his spearmen. He obviously senses a lot of Keshiks on the map. And I wonder whether... I don't know how it quite happened, but things are scaling really well here for Puppypaw. And it's actually kind of interesting to think about how he managed to do this. I think he took a really good fight in water, might win the waters and then push on from there, but it's surprising how much he's been able to afford in terms of the junks. Could come down to better macro and better eco balance potentially, but it's certainly surprising to see, because Crackedy was in a strong position. As we talk about strong positions, well, Puppypaw is looking to make a strong position for himself on Boulder Bay in this map, and on the front waters, because there's a lot of fishing ships here that are going to be idled very soon. They do a forced drop off and then garrison inside, but there's decent room. Only 2 fishing ships couldn't fit in. It's going to take care of the light junks that are there. Arrowslit's getting good value though for Crackedy. And I think Puppypaw is going to need to do a bit more damage on these docks to cause a problem. Speaking of problems, these Keshiks could cause a problem for Crackedy if they decide to attack at some point. A lot of spearmen acting as a defensive shield for Crackedy. Here come 2 war junks. That's something that obviously Puppypaw needs to back away from. He can't take that engagement, and here we see a lot of fishing ships coming out for Puppypaw. He feels comfortable that he has a decent amount of control of the waters. A couple of explosive junks. A lot of light junk. Crackedy going forward with his military. I'm not sure that's a good play. He doesn't have as much there at all. Especially with the demo ship there involved. There's only one light junk there for Crackedy. And we might be able to get it in the end because there's a bit of dancing around, a bit of micro. You can see puppypaw dancing around with the arrows. You love to see it. And Crackedy does have to back off. Going to lose a war junk at the very least. Oh, keeps the demo ship alive for now. But, well, it detonated on an already sinking war junk. Doesn't really matter because he's still winning the fight in terms of the numbers at least. But there are 2 war junks versus at least about 5 archer ships. There's a war junk running away. They're trying to run away because there's demo ships coming in. A further 2 demo ships. If the archer ships do get taken down for Crackedy, that leaves them exposed. Does take out 1 demo ship. Could potentially take another. Will he manage it? Does manage it. There's a 3rd demolition ship. Will he get that one? He does as well. Good value from that light junk there for Crackedy. It's not all over on water. A lot of villagers here on food idled, but I'm sure they'll be going on to do better and bigger things. Look at the food and gold. Holy smokes. I mean, at that rate, he'll be able to hold Imperial Age very soon. He's going to have to move that food source, though. He's going to have to move further forward. Maybe look to go for the berries in the middle of the map. We could potentially take shorefish, actually, with those number of villagers. Looks like Crackedy wants to double down, get a 3rd dock of his own. 4th dock, rather. Holy moly. He wants to win waters. But spotted here for puppypaw. He notices it. The Keshiks will deny it as well. That's actually pretty huge. 4 villagers were idled there for quite a bit of time. He needs to delete that Crackedy. He's going to lose the resources if he doesn't. Looks like he isn't going to. Also try and keep the units there for as long as possible. Trying to get them with the spearmen in the middle of the map. On the waters, another engagement. Crackedy jumping in with about 4 war junks versus purely archer ships. Now, there was a time and a place with Age of Empires 4 on the waters that archer ships, pure archer ships, were, oh, what a great demolition ship shot. 3 war junks go down and the 4th go down to the archer ship. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Crackedy here taps out. He's lost the waters. He's lost the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. And if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. Take care and see you next time.